y un miembro de personal está disponible para traducir a través de línea telefónica. Para unirse a la traducción ahora mismo, por favor marque al número 1-669-900-6833, con el número de identificación 889-5905-1042 y use la clave 094-080. Toda esta información la puede encontrar en nuestra página de internet del Distrito Escolar, visitando www.ssfusd.org y busque bajo la sección de School Board Meetings. Muchas gracias.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the South San Francisco Unified School District Board of Trustees to order, reconvening into open session. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Wong.
Here.
Trustee Shea.
Here.
Trustee Murray.
Here.
Trustee Richardson.
Here.
Vice President Anthony.
Here.
President Lujan.
Present. Thank you so much. All right, and it looks like we have transitioned right into Pledge of Allegiance. Principal Ramich, would you like to introduce our student who will be leading us in the pledge this evening? Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right, we're good. Sorry about that. Welcome, everybody. I would like to, on behalf of the Bury Elementary School and Miss Dip, fifth grade teacher, introduce to you our fifth grade Pledge of Allegiance leader. Isabella Chang, Bella, to all of us, is a true Bury Bobcat success story. A Bobcat since TK and wonderfully supported by her parents and the Bobcat staff. Bella has made strong and steady progress each academic year. She is dedicated, hardworking, and unafraid to push herself to grow and achieve. She is a true and supportive friend and a wonderful example of a Bury Bobcat. She is artistic, athletic, and a world traveler. She even invited me, her principal, to be her running buddy for the Girls on the Run 5K last year. Yeah, and she was kind enough to slow down when her principal's breathing drowned out the noise of the planes landing in Oakland Airport. Her teacher shares that in class, she is a true role model and shines bright in all that she does. And we are proud to introduce her as our Bobcat representative to lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance, Miss Isabella Chang.
Hello, Board of Trustees. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You want to give her the certificate and take a picture?
All right. Nice job, young lady.
Thank you so much, Principal Ramich, for the introduction, and great job, Bella. Thank you for helping get our meeting started in such a good way. All right, transitioning into item D, land acknowledgement statement. We acknowledge that the South San Francisco Unified School District is located on the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples, who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula. We wish to pay our respects by acknowledging the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush community, and by affirming their sovereign rights as First Peoples. Item E, reporting out from closed session. Do we have anything to report out?
Nothing to report.
Thank you, Mr. Hanan. Okay, review of agenda. Are there any changes or additions to the agenda this evening? I am not hearing anything, so I'm going to presume that there are none. And we'll adjust as needed. Okay, this brings us to item G, PTA council remarks. Ms. Orr?
Good evening, President Lujan, trustees, Superintendent Moore, and members of the cabinet and members of the community. My name is Rhonda Orr, and I am the president of the Berry PTA. This is, I think, my third year volunteering in the PTA and my first year as the PTA president. The PTA Council would like to thank Dr. Moore and Trustee Anthony for attending our council meeting last week. Thank you for updates about the district and for supporting the PTAs. Here are a few upcoming events that are happening around the district. Parkway is having their first PTA unit meeting on September 18th. Monteverde is having a movie night tomorrow. Westboro is having a career day in October. Los Ritos is currently holding an art contest for their spiritware. Ponderosa is having a fundraiser right now called a No Fuss Fall fundraiser. Juniper Serra is having a general PTA meeting on September 19th. Martin is having a book fair next week. Sunshine Gardens is having their first meeting on September 17th. And Altaloma had their first unit meeting yesterday. And all the PTA units are currently holding their membership drives. It's inexpensive to join, and it shows that you support the parent volunteers and teachers. Joining the PTA does not require you to volunteer. You can join online at jointotem.com. Finally, I'd like to share a little about the Berry PTA. We are really proud of all of our parent volunteers who have already signed up to help. We do have a couple board members here who do a lot of volunteering, Stephanie and Christina. We would like to thank them all for their hard work. We'd also like to thank the excellent Berry teachers and Mr. Ramich for supporting students and families at the schools. The PTA is very excited for the many PTA events and activities, including the Pumpkin Patch, Harvest Festival, Science Fair, our art program, and movie nights, which will be held this Friday and next Friday. The PTA is also getting excited to launch the new line of spiritware next month. We welcome the board and the cabinet to attend any of our events. The PTA Council is working on updating the event calendar like we did last year. Thank you. If there are no questions, that is our report.
Thank you so much. All right, this transitions us into item H. Did I miss something, Trustee Richardson? Oh, are you okay? Did you have a question? Yeah, we tried a different table arrangement. We thought it might help because sometimes I can't see. So thank you for accommodating. All right, so we're going to transition into item H, the Staff Association representative remarks, beginning with South San Francisco Federation of Adult Educators.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to be back. We are in our 4th week in adult ed. We started the school year fully staffed. We have a brand new Spanish high set and high school diploma teacher. We're very excited. We have lots of sections of literacy, ESL, and they're all full. So we're serving more students than ever this year. Yeah, we're very excited. So far, we're off to a pretty good start. We actually got brand new interactive televisions to replace our very old, ailing, creaky smart boards. So thanks to facilities for coming out and installing those for us. And then thanks to facilities for coming back out to lower them because we forgot to tell them we're short. And I also, the Friday before our classes start, thank you, Clarence Akala, for accommodating a 3:30 on Friday phone call from a panicked teacher who needed to be walked through how to use the technology one more time. So we're very happy to have the strong IT department that we have. So really, we're just off to a great start. We're looking forward to this year and achieving more than ever. And we're looking forward to keeping lines of communication open with district leadership, the board, and our compatriots in the CTA and CSEA. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, our next representative, South San Francisco Classroom Teachers Association.
Good evening. Good evening, President Lujan, board trustees, cabinet members, and SSF community. I hope your school year is off to a wonderful start. I've always loved the hustle and bustle at the beginning of the school year because of the new possibilities that arise from meeting the children in my first grade class each year. As teacher and SSF CTA leader, I have been doubly busy, though more busy than I should be, unfortunately. I have been tackling a lot of situations, some of which you have received letters about, and others that continue to be work in progress issues. I would like to thank Mr. Hanan for trying to stay on top of many of these situations. He also gave up some personal time to work on updating the formatting in our collective bargaining agreement last weekend. And tomorrow we will meet to get that document finalized so we can get out to our teachers. We will also meet to discuss the math pilot MOU that our pilot teachers will have a clear understanding of the expectations for the year as they work on the pilot process. Please be looking for an email from me soon that will withdraw the cease and desist letter that was sent out regarding back to school night parent survey. Mr. Hanan worked to change the survey through phone calls with SSF CTA to make it less evaluative of teachers. Going forward this year, I am hoping to meet with other district personnel more often. I often feel if the cabinet had an ongoing dialogue with its labor partners, there would be less last-minute letters of crises. These crises don't serve to build trust between the school district and SSF CTA or its teachers. I also recommend that all cabinet members and administrators read through their labor partner agreements every year because they are documents that change annually. Just as I look forward to new beginnings with my students every fall, I also look forward to new beginnings with SSFUSD when it comes to improving communication between us. Thank you. Have a great month, and I'll see you in October.
Thank you. All right, and our next representative from California School Employees Association, Chapter 197.
Thank you. Good evening, President Lujan, honorable trustees, cabinet, Superintendent Moore, and audience. I don't have anything new to report. However, I also wish to thank Mr. Hanan for working with me on the many paraeducator issues that we have going. And I'm hoping we could do a lot in the area of employee retention and recruiting more permanent paraeducators. So thank you, Mr. Hanan. I appreciate that. And anyone running for school board on August 24th, Tuesday, CSEA is having a kind of a meet the candidates night. I could not reach Mr. Chikuti yet, but if he's listening from outside, it'll be in South San Francisco Library, and everyone's invited to attend if they wish. And that's what little I had to report tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank
Small
you.
Patty, what time is that? Meet the candidates.
It would be 4:30 to Well, actually, the candidates would be there at 5, but it's 4:30 to 5:30 or 6, however long it lasts. But we have our closed session from 4:30 to 5, and then at 5 they would come. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you.
All right, item I, Personnel Commission.
Our next Personnel Commission meeting will be held on Monday, the 15th of September, 2024 at 5 p.m. in the District Board Office.
Thank you very much. All right, this brings us to item J, items from the board, announcements, board calendar, and board committee reports.
Sorry, Ms. Malfatti, can you just confirm the date one more time? We're sitting here chatting. Tuesday, September 24th? Okay, perfect.
I have a correction.
Yes.
I just want to clarify regarding the Personnel Commission meeting. It will be held Monday, September 16th, not 15th. So Monday, September 16th, 2024, 5 p.m. District Board Office. Thank you.
Announcements, board committee reports. The Board Bylaws Committee met today at 5:30-ish. And it was a successful meeting.
Wonderful, thank you. And then the city subcommittee met on September 3rd. Public Works provided some updates on projects that they're prioritizing around schools, piloting things like lowering speed limits around schools to promote pedestrian and bike safety. The fire department informed us that they are once again providing CPR and bleeding control training at both of both South San Francisco and El Camino High School. And they are considering organizing a bike to school day, ideally to coordinate with Bike to Work Day, which takes place annually in May. And one of the last items was a conversation about potentially moving meetings to the evening. The December meeting will continue during the workday, but there is a possibility that future meetings, the future subcommittee will decide if they would like to transition those meetings to the evening. All right, any other updates? Okay, then we're going to transition right into superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, President Lujan. We held back to school nights at the end of August and the first week of September, and we asked for feedback from our community. And overall, I just want to say our schools just did a wonderful job of creating a welcoming environment for our families, sharing overall school expectations, and providing information for our families on our strategic plan and the portrait of a graduate, and detailing the ways in which we would love for our families to get involved. We are still summarizing the data, so we will be bringing that back once we gather it, but it was overwhelmingly positive. I also just want to extend a very big thank you to our families, our students, and our incredible staff for engaging in and launching into the 24-25 school year in such a positive and welcoming way. Many of these back to school nights were on the same evening, which is typical, and many were scheduled at the same time as our last math study session as well. But despite that, I know many of us were able to get to different campuses and show our support, engage with staff and families. And I want to thank our trustees who were able to do that, directors, cabinet members, and like I said, board members, because it really does show that we value and prioritize our students and our families. And I just very much appreciate the turnout from the families showing up and the engagement. So I just wanted to congratulate our schools on a job well done. Then my next item is a portrait of an educator. One of our priorities in our strategic plan is to work in partnership with our school community to identify the ways in which we can further empower our educators. One way is to develop a South City portrait of an educator, and very soon we will be launching our guiding coalition with learner-centered collaborative to work on some of our key strategic priorities in developing our portrait of an educator, as well as our instructional vision. And for the portrait of an educator, it will detail the competencies our educators need to help all of our students achieve our portrait of a graduate aims, learn, thrive, navigate, and impact. And it is just incredible popping into classrooms and seeing the ways in which some of our educators are already exemplifying that and helping their students exemplify that. And so I'm really excited. And this work will help with our recruitment efforts. It will help with our professional learning and development. And of course, will help continue to elevate our organizational culture. So we're just excited about what's to come with regard to the strategic plan. Thank you very much. That concludes my report.
Thank you so much, Dr. Moore. All right, this brings us to item L, student trustee reports, beginning with student trustee Wong.
Good evening, board members, cabinet, and audience at home and audience present. My name is Jamie Wong, and I'm currently a senior serving as the ASB president at El Camino High School and the fall student trustee. I hope you are all doing well and having a smooth start into the school year. Last Friday's senior sunrise was an unforgettable experience for the class of 2025. Despite the early morning fog, the event was a huge success. Everyone came together, sharing moments that will last a lifetime. Whether it was grabbing food, crafting crowns and bracelets, or playing pickleball and football, the entire class bonded through a variety of activities. The sense of unity and excitement was visible, setting a positive tone for the year ahead. It was a perfect way to kick off the school year, leaving everyone feeling energized and connected. Homecoming season has officially arrived and excitement is in the air. Homecoming committees have begun their preparations, and each class is gearing up to create decorations and practice their skits and dances for their designated spirit days, all centered around this year's theme of board games. From painting posters to rehearsing routines, the competition and creativity are already building. The highly anticipated homecoming dance, set for the 28th, promises to be a magical evening with its elegant masquerade theme. It's sure to be a memorable week filled with school spirit and fun, bringing everyone together to celebrate. Fall sports are officially underway, and we wish the best of luck to all of our athletes. From football, cheer, cross country, girls tennis, girls golf, to girls volleyball, each team is ready to take on the season. We're especially excited for their upcoming senior nights, where we'll get to celebrate and honor our seniors for their dedication and hard work over the years. Let's show our support and cheer them on throughout the season. And lastly, it's that time again. Our first Friday night lights of the season will be tomorrow. We are so excited to have our community together and support our Colts. The theme will be Lights Out, where all students dress in black attire, as we will also be selling tea pumps during the varsity game. We can't wait to see how our Colts do, and best of luck. That concludes my report, and unless there are any questions or concerns, I'd like to thank you all for listening.
Thank you. All right, and our next student trustee, student trustee Harsana.
Good evening. Yes. Good evening, board, cabinet, and community. My name is Josephine Harsana, and it's my pleasure to be serving as this year's fall student trustee representing South San Francisco High School. I hope everything has settled down and everyone has happily adjusted to the new school year. Our school, along with ASB, has been hard at work at providing a number of events and activities to get our students involved and feel welcome in our environment. We kicked off the school year with our Welcome Back Assembly on Friday, August 23rd. We introduced the school community to our fall sports, and we formally introduced our new principal, Dr. Loschutz, to our students for the very first time. Freshman elections and voting took place from August 23rd to August 28th, and on August 30th, we were so happy to welcome our new freshman officers, Carl LaRosa, Jasmine Hong, Preston Hang, and Gabby LaRosa into the class. We can't wait to see what they'll accomplish this year. As for the ASB senior office, they planned and held our annual senior sunrise on our football field 2 weeks ago on Friday, August 30th, starting at 6:30 a.m. Our senior class had a blast with the large amounts of activities provided, such as giant human hamster balls, volleyball, spike ball, face paint, and a number of field activities. Additionally, they were able to write letters to their future selves, which will be delivered at senior sunset. Free food and drinks were provided, such as bagels, conchas, and other baked goods. Fortunately, the weather allowed for a slightly visible sunrise, which was definitely the best weather we've had at this event in the past 4 years. Class bonding events such as these allow us to achieve Portrait of a Graduate Aim Thrive, as the seniors were able to relax and enjoy this event together. South City also held our annual back to school night on Tuesday, August 27th. Not only did our parents and students enjoy walking through campus and interacting with the teachers, they also got to enjoy performances from our folkloric and marching band programs. Additionally, our ASB class has officially decided on this year's homecoming theme. We are overjoyed to announce that this year's homecoming theme is musicals, with each class taking a certain musical as their sub-theme. Our seniors are taking on Descendants, while the juniors chose Teen Beach Movie. The sophomores chose The Greatest Showman, and the freshmen are doing Wonka. Our homecoming will take place on October 19th, with homecoming week from October 15th through the 18th. Our classes have already gotten started with putting together homecoming committees to put on a rally dance, decorate the school, and perform a lunchtime skit. We await to see where their creativity takes them, and with our musical theme, we all hope they break a leg. Our sports teams have been hard at work, already accomplishing great feats. The South City football team took home another Warrior win at Bethel High School last Saturday. Their first home game of the season is tomorrow against Lee High School. The theme for this game is Under the Sea, and we ask that supporters come dressed in blue attire. For the first time, South City has put together a girls' flag football team, and last week they won their very first scrimmage. Our girls' volleyball team has also recently won 2 games at the San Lorenzo tournament last weekend. Tonight is their first league game against Terra Nova. Also, our girls' tennis team has their first match on Tuesday, and they have another one happening right now. We wish all of our teams the best of luck. The Red Cross Club is hosting their first blood drive of the school year on Friday, September 27th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. This year, we're focusing on the Sickle Cell Initiative, in which we will work to increase the number of African American donors to help fight sickle cell disease. I encourage all community members to sign up and donate blood. Together, we can work to fulfill the Portrait of a Graduate aim, impact, and better our community. You can find the sign-up link in the Instagram bio at SSFUSD Red Cross, or you can scan the QR code on the flyers that are being handed out right now. Be a hero, donate blood, and save a life. Our theater program has begun preparations for the fall play. William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing will be held on November 15th, 16th, and 17th. Auditions will be held next week, Monday through Wednesday. And finally, tomorrow is our annual Club Rush, planned and organized by School Community Commission. During lunch, over 30 clubs, including veteran clubs such as Earth Club and Key Club, and new clubs this year, such as the Redeem and Delivered Christian Club and Mariachi Club, will advertise their clubs for our student body. This event will take place in the big gym during lunch. We are excited to see what creative methods will be employed this year to attract new members. We welcome all board members to this event, and if you would like to visit and see the most diverse campus offerings at our school, this is the perfect opportunity. This event will begin at 11:40 and end at 12:15. And if there are any further questions, please let me know. With that, that concludes my board report. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Richardson.
What an exciting year starting out to be. All I have is one question. Where is Lee High School? I've never heard.
Neither have I.
Okay.
Lee High School's in San Jose.
San Jose.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we have transitioned into item M, public comments, but I don't have any cards, so I'm not going to read the whole spiel if that's okay. All right, I'm not seeing anyone rush up to hand me a card, so I'm going to transition into item N, information only presentations. Our first presentation this evening is a teaching and learning presentation for Bury High School, or Bury Elementary School. Sorry, I was thinking high school because we were still talking about Lee High School. Sorry, don't worry, you're still elementary.
Good evening, Principal Ramich. Thanks for being here this evening. Like President Lujan said, Principal Ramich is going to share educational goals, culture of what's going on at Bury Elementary. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us. Got a bunch of folks here that are Bobcats. Thank you guys for coming. Good to see you. Right? Yeah, thank you so much for having us. Trustee Lujan, thank you for seeing the size of our schools, basically like a high school. You're right. Thank you for inviting us, and the board trustees. Thank you so much for all your support. Dr. Moore and Cabinet, thanks again for inviting us to come share our life with you guys here. This has been a really great start to our school year, and I want to say just how much we appreciate just all the support we get from our classified people, from our tech people, from even building this PowerPoint. I'm the first principal to have to go, and I just went like 4 months ago with a different PowerPoint, and I got a lot of help from Mr. Irish and from Georgina and from Marianne. So Ed Services, thank you so much for your care of me as I'm stumbling through this school year. But I'm super proud to be the principal of Bury Elementary School. For those who don't know, my name is Craig Ramich, and I want to just share with you both some district level as well as how that affects us at the site. And so I'm going to start us off. We really have been asking for a long time for a gathering and a focusing of our district, and our district has been listening. And so through all the care really and the listening, our strategic plan has really gifted us with a sense of moving together in ways that I haven't felt for a long time, and I'm super thankful for that process. And they reflect the core values that I want to be about and that our school is about and our district clearly is about. Community is our strength, relationships that we have based on history, based on culture, based on working hard together. It's just palpable at Bury Elementary School and in our community. And that leads to the opportunities we have to be real with each other and to appreciate each other authentically, all of ourselves, to bring them to schools, to bring them to education, to work well together, to move forward together in ways that allow us to tackle problems and tackle solutions together that are difficult, that require resilience, that require working together, working hard when things don't come easy. We believe that working hard through that productive struggle is how learning takes place. It's not a mistake that's shameful. It's an opportunity for us to learn. And so with our teachers and our parents and our students really learning that we can depend on each other. We can be real with each other. We can provide what each student needs, regardless if they're typical or atypical, whether they are resourced or under-resourced. Our district and our school are really learning how to think about resources with equity, being our North Star, that we would follow a pathway to align resources and align all that we need for every kid to thrive. And so that's really helped us make some goals for a district. You know, every kid, we want to receive quality instruction in our LCAP goals. We want every kid to be engaged in that learning in ways that bring out their true self, their own goals, their own history, their own language. We want really strong partnerships between parents, between school, between district office and sites, between our community liaisons, through all the different programs that support us. We want to be really good partners so that we can actually affect in positive ways our community. And we want educators, our teachers, our whole staffs to be empowered, to be really well, deeply trained, and to be well, deeply connected through collaboration. And that would happen through really a great, strong plan that is linear, that is understandable, and that is really teacher and student and learner centered. And so we're really working at thinking about our systems and how to make equitable decisions for the good of the whole, which leads us really to a fantastic guide, really. We worked really hard at developing this portrait of a graduate. What do we promise Isabella from TK to her senior year, right? What do we want from her? So we've come up with what I think are some really helpful points for us to think about and to strive for. We want Isabella to learn, right? In every grade, standards, but also learn herself and learn the world, pardon me, so that she could thrive as a person, not just as an academic, right, but as a whole person who can navigate her way through the pathways that lead to what she wants. Four-year college, maybe. We want her to be able to have that choice. UC, maybe. We want her to have that choice. She might choose to go into the trades. We want her to be ready for that. We want her to have options and choices and know how to navigate those choices and those pathways so that she can get what she wants. She has an amazing amount of resources sitting in red next to her, but there's still a lot of pathways and she's got to figure out for herself. We want her to be able to figure that out for herself with the support we give her to navigate that so that she can continue to have an impact on our world and our community. So that's a great promise, right? And it's quite a, I don't know, it's a weighty promise for those of us that are carrying the baton at the beginning. But we're thankful for the through line from us to our middle school partners and to our high school partners. And to hear the articulate leaders we have, thank you so much for the ways that you are leading your high schools. Let me think here. All righty. And so from those, we're able to make both site as well as district priorities, right? And so that instruction, that engagement we talked about, partnerships, those are all we want to be prioritizing for us. And so we've put some goals together that are really directly in line, both with what we've been doing in the past, but also what we are newly doing as a result of this, this pathway that we're on together. So you're going to see growth in learner-centered education. What does that mean? It means kids are at the center of the learning. We're not all going to study cats. We're going to study how to write powerful informational text and do research on the topics and the things that they're interested in, the things that they are committed to, the things that they think are important, so that the issues are centered to the student. So we're not just all droning on to do the same thing replicated 25 times in the classroom. We want the student to be at the center. We can teach into their interest, into their issues that are important to them, but we want them to be at the center, their passions at the center. And so to do that, we want them to be socially, emotionally strong, to be able to like make mistakes in front of others and not be ashamed, right? To keep going and to persevere. And so we are really working hard this year at student goal setting, so that Isabella can like set a goal for herself, knowing here's the standard, here's what it means to be an expert in this. Here's what I'm doing now. I can set a goal and then monitor my progress on the way to that goal. So our teachers are working really hard at helping kids make academic goals, make engagement goals. What does it mean to be attentive, right? Think about making a goal for what does it mean to be attentive in a meeting like this? And then how are you attentive now? Do you talk when the leader is talking? Do you talk when your colleague is talking? And so we're making like both progress and process goals, and then helping kids to identify themselves. Where are you in that process? What do you need to work on? Different for her than for her colleague. And so that's, again, being student-centered and helping them like own their own, having agency for their own language and their own education and their own steps, right? One main way we're trying to do that and having kids have agency is having enough things in the center that are complex enough and that are rigorous enough for everybody to be able to look at it, make some sense of it, pull it apart and put it together in ways that we benefit from your perspective and your vision. And you can speak into it from your culture and your language. Think of a really complex piece of text, a poem that has all kinds of images in it, all kinds of thoughts and movement, but you and I don't see it the same way, right? It affects us differently. But as we talk about it, as we have that complex piece in the middle, as we talk about it, we learn from each other and the text opens up for us. The goal at the end isn't that we all agree what it says. The goal is that we take it seriously and we use the thought processes and the academic language to actually be able to express ourselves, to disagree and agree respectfully, to add on in ways that actually open up a text and open up what learning is, a humanity, right? It's a humanity. It's not a linear line. It's a human bringing themselves to it. Think about that with science. Our science curriculum has a phenomena in the middle, something really complex. It's not that easy to figure out why does that happen. But everybody can like use what science they know, what observations they make to think about what might be causing this. Think about a real life, real world math problem that has more than one way to think about it, more than one way to put it together, pull it apart. And I can say my strategy that I use, and then she can learn from it. I can hear her strategy and think, oh, that's kind of like mine, but it's also different. And the more we have complex pieces in the middle and give kids the chance to have those conversations, the more they own their own education and the more they know how to learn, not just from a model, but learn from the process of learning, learn from the process of talking and seeing something complex. Now that is different than most of your lessons in elementary school. So that's not that easy, right? It means stepping back as a teacher from the, I'm going to do it, you're going to model it after me, you're going to follow me every single step. And oftentimes give them those lessons so that they can engage in these kind of activities and these kinds of experiences. So they have a few things that they've done and learned from the teacher, but they also can bring what they learn, what they think about to a complex piece in the middle. So I'm hoping, I want to open this up for you. This may be longer than what you hoped for, but really you need to know what that means, right? What are those things? What does learner-centered mean? So I'm trying to give you a picture of what we're working on so that you understand it more on an elementary, middle, high school level. And so we're also working on a bunch of stuff we worked on 4 months ago when I talked to you, but I really wanted to hit that hard so that you have a sense of what my staff and what our teacher leaders are thinking about when it comes to learning, being learner-centered. All right. The kids we have at Bury are the same kids we've always had, but I want to show you something really interesting. I came to Bury probably 8 years ago. You were like maybe a second grader, I think. And our socioeconomically disadvantaged percentages were at or under 20. Last year, they were 24%. You know what that says up there? 42%. How does little middle class Bury Elementary School have 42% socioeconomically disadvantaged students in it. I don't know, super thankful they're there. They're getting an education and we're learning how to work with everybody, but those numbers have changed by 18% in 1 year. The only thing I can think about is that we've always had around 50% socioeconomically disadvantaged, but there was never a reason, that big of a reason for people to actually say what they're earning because it benefited them. Now that we have ELOP, we have free childcare possible for people, and that's actually significant to them. Getting childcare for a family that's struggling and working is significant. Our numbers are different. 18%, our staff, our population hasn't changed 18% in 1 year, right? And so this is really stark to me and really like important for me and for hopefully for all of us to think about, right? The beauty of the complexity of schools like ours, right? My school is super diverse and super complex. It's the most complex elementary school that we have. The ranges we have for language and culture and socioeconomically advantaged or disadvantaged education levels, we're just the most diverse school we have. And I'm super proud to see teachers who, right, have had to and have got to learn to be learner-centered so that those cultures are growing and contributing, that those families are getting what they need, no matter if they walked in the door from Guatemala yesterday, or if they have been working at Genentech and are fancy pantses forever, right? Our resourced and our under-resourced families, they both need resources, they both need respect, and they both need a place. And I'm so proud of our teachers, how they do that in a really complex way, day after day. That's a pretty amazing stat. Okay, I'm running out of time. We're working on attendance. At least I've been facing you. Last year, I was raised in the church, so you don't preach to the choir, you preach to the people. And so I was like looking this way the whole time until the very end. I looked back, I was like, my back to the people. So I've been better today. We're working on attendance. Attendance is crucial, right? And so we're working on it really hard, and our districts give us a lot of tools that are helping us. And our academics are holding really strong. You can see, Burry, at the far left, our math and our language arts scores, they fluctuate year to year, but generally are still, compared to the state, compared to the county, compared to our other schools in our district, performing at a level that is not nearly good enough, and shamefully way better than so many other groups that are similar to it. But I'm proud of our teachers and our students. We are really working hard to maintain and try to grow. Same with our smaller groups of kids coming from other languages and coming to us bilingually, kids with IEPs, kids who are receiving all kinds of support from all kinds of experts. Super proud of the way that they are growing. We're taking really good recent data on literacy, and we just are providing all kinds of really fantastic structured science of reading literacy supports for kids who are showing they need it, and totally proud of the gains that they make in 1 year. Our team is super strong. The heart of our teams is this process. Our grade level teams working together in cycles of inquiry where they are clarifying standards, they're giving kids common form assessments, and they're responding. In intervention response, acceleration response, reteaching response, every week they're going through the same process and have all kinds of resources to intervene in math and in language arts. Super proud of that. We have a really fun community. There's Bella there with her mom at the Martin School. Was that the Roseville Parks? Ruby Bridges, yeah, fantastic. Anyway, we just had a great time on our school. We celebrate like crazy and we work super hard like crazy. And I'm super proud of all the different resources that we bring to bear. And there's Bella and I in our pink tutus from when we ran together in the top left. Just if you needed proof that we ran together, that's actually us. I want to say thank you because we work so hard together in our school with our school partners and with our district office. We really feel like Bobcats overcome as one. And I just have to say thank you to an amazing certificated staff who's patient with me, and an amazing, awesome classified staff who supports us in every small and large way, and an incredible special ed staff. I'm just super thankful for the people that you guys have given me to work with. It's been humbling to do that. So all these languages, all these cultures, this complexity we have thrown together, we're doing our best, and we are really trying to have equity as our North Star. So we really do touch every single kid with what they need. And so I want to say thank you to all of you. That, by the way, if you see that young lady's face on all these PowerPoints, she's a Bobcat, and her mom works in our school. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for me, I'd love to take them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Principal Ramage. I'd love to open it up to questions and comments from my fellow colleagues.
I just want to thank you for the report. I got goosebumps when you were explaining how everything went together and talking about the strategic plan. It's like, it's what we want you guys to see. And so, and implement and live. And it just gave me goosebumps. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the amazing presentation. And I really appreciate you spend time with us. I mean, educate us. What does the learner center mean? That does help. The way you describe it, like, oh, now the light bulb, like, I get it now. Thank you.
My pleasure. It was my job for about 7 years before becoming the principal. So it's something that we've been working at since the new Common Core standards came about. And so it's kind of, we're recircling back to it. And so super thankful to share it with you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ramesh, you're the consummate educator as far as I'm concerned.
What did you say?
The consummate educator.
I'm just teasing. I heard you.
I want to make sure you hear this because I really do feel that it's in your DNA to be an educator and it shows. You've been in our district over 30 years and you still have a passion for teaching. So thank you so much for imparting your experience, your patience, and you're willing to transition out of the old ways into our new ways. So I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
So much.
It's encouraging.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I've been doing a lot of work on economic mobility and upward mobility in my day job. And one of the things that is really important to it is agency and independence and feeling like you get a choice and feeling like you do that. The second piece that's really, it's not just about good jobs, it's also about belonging. And, you know, as we think about our portrait of a graduate, it's all about economic mobility too, right? It's all about thinking about how do we advance in this world? How do we impact? How do we grow? How do we thrive, right? I really appreciated the framing today. I remember last year you talked a lot about the importance of aligning your daily schedule so that you had protected times for math and protected times for reading. And I think that that's a really great example of like building a system so that it works for students. And I just appreciate that approach and thank you.
Amen. So we're proud of teachers who would be flexible to trust that we can do that and try that. It's really encouraging to see them be stretched and to be cheerful and, you know, trusting.
Thank you for your presentation. It is always good to see you. Love when the Bury community comes to join us. I would love to recognize our Bury communities. If you're a member of the Bury community, could you please stand up so we could recognize you? Because you are just a fantastic space. That's fantastic space. Miss Kitchen, you could have joined. You're once a bobcat, always a bobcat.
Wow. Get out of that seat. Oh, do I do the? Okay. And I would just love to publicly thank some of our just really amazing families and family members who have contributed time and energy to us. So when I call you up, could you come up, please? Miss Christina Hong, also known as Bella's mom. Thank you. Oh, we're going to take pictures in a minute. Stephanie Scangos. Stephanie. Thank you so much. Rachel Stone, are you here? Rachel Stone. I'll be sure and get it to her. Mariah Saldana. Okay. Thank you very much. Pictures.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it. It was a great presentation. All right, I believe we have another presentation this evening from Business Services. Mr. O, I turn it over to your capable hands.
All right. Good evening, President Lujan, members of the board, cabinet staff, and committee members. So I'll be presenting the district's unaudited actuals financial report for fiscal year 22, 23, and 24. This is the report that we usually prepare after we close the books. And the report covers the period from July 1st, 23 to June 30th, 2024. And the purpose of the presentation is to show you how we ended the year. Okay, so these are some of the areas that we'll be covering this evening. And this is the EDCO requirements for the unaudited actuals, the state requirement. So in the next couple of slides, I'm going to cover the general fund actual revenues. The general fund is the district's main operating fund. You can look at it as one of the many bank accounts. I'm going to go over the unrestricted general fund first, and then the restricted general fund, and then also the combined amount. So this slide shows the unrestricted general fund revenues. We ended the year with 141.3 million in unrestricted revenues. The bulk of our revenue comes from LCFF sources, which for our district is the property taxes, because we're a basic aid district, also known as a community funded district. So this slide shows the restricted revenues. I separate the restricted portion from the unrestricted portion because the restricted portion must be used for a specific purpose. We ended the year with 32.5 million in restricted revenues. So this is the total revenue for 23-24 is about 173.8 million. So this is basically the same information as the previous slide, but in a pie chart for you. So the next couple of slides, I'm going to cover the general fund actual expenditures. So just like revenue, I'm going to break down the amounts by unrestricted, restricted, and combined. Okay, this slide shows our unrestricted general fund expenditures. We ended the year with 101.7 million in unrestricted general fund expenditures. So you might wonder why the unrestricted general fund revenue are 141.3 million and the unrestricted general fund expenditures are only 101.7 million, which is about a difference of 39.6 million more in revenues. So this amount is before the general fund contribution, to about 36.1 million to the restricted categorical programs. For example, includes programs like special ed program that we contribute the funds to, and also the state require a contribution to our facilities programs. So for the restricted general fund, we ended the year with 65.2 million in expenditures for 23-24. And overall total expenditures in 23-24, we ended the year with 166.9 million. So again, this is the same information from the previous slide, but in a pie chart for you. Okay, the next couple of slides, you'll see the general fund summary broken down by, again, unrestricted and restricted. So this is a high-level summary of the closing numbers for 23-24. Also broken down the amounts into unrestricted and restricted. The ending fund balance before the state required designation and district designation for the unrestricted general fund is about 27.5 million. About 9.5 million of the amounts are set aside for the district anticipated expenditures. 8.3 million is the state required designation. Our district is required to set aside 3%, but we do about 5% because we're a basic aid district and need the extra fund for cash flow purposes. The amount remaining is about 9.3 million. So this amount is needed to help the district balance its budget in the out years because the district is currently deficit spending in the out years. which means the district is spending more than the revenue it takes in. The state requires district to have a balanced budget in the current year as well as the next 2 years. The ending fund balance for the restricted general fund is about 37.4 million. These are the restricted and state categorical program funds that need to be carried over into the following year and spent for its intended program purposes. This amount is much higher this year due to the carryover of one-time unspent state stimulus funds that the district received, but have not yet spent all of the funds yet. So this is just a breakdown of the district reserve designation for 23-24. And then for the unrestricted general fund portion, this is a comparison of the estimated actuals, what we anticipate our revenue and expenditures will look like when we close the books to our unaudited actuals, the actual revenue and expenditures after we close the books. So there's a fall of about 1.4 million out of the 166.9 million budget after we close the books. So we're not that far off, less than 1% total expenditures for the year, which is not too bad. So these are just some of the other funds, or we can also look at as bank accounts that we have in the district. And then again, these are some of the areas of concern. You know, you've seen these in the past, my presentations. I think the biggest concern is the positions and programs charged to the one-time expiring state stimulus funds that we need to address in the coming year. So looking ahead, you know, these are some of the items coming up for the next 3 to 4 months. And that's the end of my presentation. Any questions?
Thank you so much for your presentation. Do we have questions or comments this evening? Would you like to start, Trustee Richardson?
Thank you, Mr. O. I still don't get it. Thank you. Anyway, no, I do. But, you know, it's a lot of numbers and thank goodness you got a big tree out in the back where you need money. It just seems you just find it. So I appreciate your hard work and your team and everything. I always wonder about it. You know,
thank you.
I say, Mr. O will take care of it. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to you and your staff. And you do always make it look like easy and you provide us with the information we need. So thank you and your staff for all. I know this is huge and you do a lot of work and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yes, just thank you for your work. Thank you to your team, and we really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
I guess I shall echo the thank yous. This unaudited actuals here is like a whole year's worth of work. And I know many days and evenings of dedicated time to get this ready. So that way it was ready to present to us and then also share with the powers that be that also need to see this report. So thank you. I hope that you were able to get some downtime because I imagine there were many long days and long nights to get this done. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, my friends, we go to our first action item this evening. Our first item this evening is approval of year-end unaudited actual report. Do we have questions or comments on this item? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
First by Trustee Murray, second by Trustee Shea. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, item P, consent agenda. Right. Do we have any items that we want pulled or questions or comments on any of the items? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
First by Trustee Murray, second by Vice President Anthony. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, now I have to pause our regularly scheduled meeting and open a public hearing. All right, our public hearing in accordance with California Education Code 60119 and SB 550 provides an opportunity for members of the public to comment on the sufficiency of our adopted materials. I have no comment cards I'm not seeing a plethora of humans who are trying to comment, so I'm going to close public comment and resume our regularly scheduled programming. Okay, so believe this brings us to administration discussion of community forum topics that we are holding on October 24th. Do we have potential items we would like to be part of the community forum? Any, yeah, I opened it up to my colleagues because I don't think it'll be good if all the ideas come out of my brain.
I like the idea of having the strategic plan on the agenda, and that would just be one item because that's big. But I think as part of, as part of the rollout, and just like letting our community know exactly what the strategic plan is and answering questions. That would be my feeling.
I agree with Pat, and I would also, if we can have a second topic potentially, I really would like to have the school safety. I think that is so important recently with the statewide, not state, the entire United States, those different incidents for the school safety thing, I think is important. Thank you.
I was actually going to suggest mental health in the district. I mean, that's 3 topics, so probably to discuss which ones we'll actually include, but because we've started our mental health pilot and because we have new wellness counselors, I'm just thinking about that and informing more people about what's going on.
Day break, yeah. Trustee Richardson, did you have a thought?
Just quickly, and I know this is probably thinking out of the box, but I was thinking that we could show and tell, have a little show and tell to the community and tell them what we've done since we've transitioned out of the old and working on the new and the new programs that we have for some of our students that might not go to college. And our culinary program is one. And then we have our trades program, which is very popular, I hear. And some of the students come over here from El Camino High School to attend our program. So I thought maybe that would be encouraging and invite the city. They're including us and hey, you know, this is what we're doing. And after the pandemic, we've really taken off, I thought. So that's my point.
Thank you. All right. So I think it was mentioned that we typically try to narrow it down to 2. I've heard 4 ideas. I don't have a strong opinion, so I'm just going to reflect back what I've heard. So I've heard strategic plan, school safety, mental health, and then career technical education. Does anyone want to like strongly advocate? The one thing I could see combining maybe would be school safety and mental health. I could see those dovetailing into one. Okay, I'm hearing a yes, those 2 could tie together. So then that kind of narrows it down to 3: strategic plan, big bucket of safety, and then CTE. Strong opinions one way or the other?
Well, if I could.
Yeah.
The strategic plan will be rolled out throughout the year. And I thought we've already sort of outlined it to the community and they understand that we're headed in a different direction. I just think that we ought to have the opportunity to enlighten the community on the exciting things outside of that or including that from what we're doing. So that's my 2 cents.
I think any opportunity we have to present the strategic plan, we should take that opportunity. So that's why I said strategic plan. Having said that, I mean, school safety and mental health in the district, both important topics. We've discussed school safety. Ryan has presented the Big 5 protocols many times. And so I wouldn't see that as important as some of the other things, say strategic plan, mental health. But I'm open to.
President Lujan, if I may, so all of these are tied in one way or another to our strategic plan. So if we identified two others outside of the strategic plan, there, we will still be able to provide some insights in the way in which it's been outlined in our strategic plan that we'll be able to communicate and share with the community.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. You were like in my brain because I was wondering if it was possible to maybe, because CTE, I have to say, is really showy and really exciting. Like there are some incredible things happening, and we've definitely, as a board, put some big dollars or approved. We haven't done it. Like all we did was approve. Staff did all the work to write grants and then see the projects into implementation. But we've approved some big projects and related to CTE. And so my wondering was, is there a way to show the through line of how the strategic plan is breathing life into CTE?
Can I ask student trustee Wong what she thinks?
So sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, no, just we were talking about
some
three, no, it's okay. We were talking about
messages.
3 topics and just kind of thinking about like what might be of interest, what comes up when you're in your ASB meetings, what comes up in the community. Trustee Harsana could also speak, but
Definitely catering to like our student body and what like Trustee Richardson brought up about like just like awareness with everything that's been going on, especially with the school shootings. I think that is definitely something that we should bring a topic to schools. I know it's a really heavy topic, but especially because it was really recent and it heavily impacted our community and social media, which our community now is really into. It's very important to bring awareness into it. So I really like the idea of showcasing that.
I actually, that's a good idea. So school safety should be back. School safety and mental health would be my 2 issues. So.
Okay, I don't know what. So we're definitely hearing school safety and mental health. Okay.
And I also want to iterate what Pat said. I think strategic plan is very important. And we can tie that, as Dr. Moore mentioned, to different threats to that. So that's our cornerstone. So I would strongly recommend strategic plan is one of them.
Okay. Dr. Moore, do you feel like you have enough direction for staff?
I do. Thank you.
Okay, beautiful. Since this was an information item, I'm not going to ask for a motion because that'll be very confusing and not the right action. But we're going to transition right back into action items. Our first action item this evening is adoption of Resolution 2444 for Hispanic Latinx Heritage Month. Trustee Richardson, would you be do the honors of reading Resolution 2444 into the record? Beautiful, thank you.
Distrito Escolar Unificado de Sur San Francisco, resolución 2444, mes de la herencia hispana Latinx, 15 de septiembre de 15 de octubre en 2024. Mientras el mes de septiembre 15 de octubre y fue designado como el mes de la herencia hispana Latinx por el Congreso de los Estados Unidos en 1988, y mientras hispano Latinx o latino se refiere a puertorriqueños, sur o centroamericanos u otra cultura hispana u origen, no interesa la raza. Y mientras septiembre 15 fue escogido para conmemorar el aniversario de la independencia de 5 países latinos americanos: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras y Nicaragua, y septiembre 16 por la independencia de México. Y mientras este tema es latinos manejando prosperidad, poder y progreso en América. Y mientras el impacto de la cultura hispana latinx y tradiciones centenarias son manifestadas en nuestras costumbres californianas y leyes, y mientras los hispanos americanos Latinx continúan haciendo contribuciones importantes con la nuestra sociedad en el gobierno americano, negocios, agricultura, fuerzas armadas, comercio, educación, las artes, ciencia y deportes. Y mientras el Código de la Educación de California, sección 51204.5, específicamente requiere instrucciones que ciencias sociales incluya y el estudio del papel y contribuciones de los mexicoamericanos a la economía por política y sociodesarrollo de California y la nación con infatuación particular, interpretando el papel de este grupo en la sociedad contemporánea. Y mientras hispanos, americanos, latinx son uno de los grupos de la comunidad creciendo muy rápido en este país, representando 62 millones o 19% de los residentes en los Estados Unidos, 40% de la nación, 30% de la población del sur San Francisco y 44% de estudiantes en nuestro distrito. Ahora, entonces, está ya resuelto que la Junta Directiva del Distrito Escolar de Sur San Francisco reconoce y desea honorar a los hispanos y latinos durante el mes de herencia del hispano Latinx, regularmente aprobado y adoptado este 12 mes de septiembre 2024.
Thank you so much, Trustee Richardson.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a first by Vice President Anthony, second by Trustee Shay. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Wong,
Here.
Yes.
trustee Shay,
Yes.
trustee Murray,
Yes.
trustee Richardson,
Yes.
Vice President Anthony,
Yes.
President Lujan.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Thank you so much. Okay, now into educational services. And we have another resolution, adoption of resolution 2442, sufficient student textbook instructional materials. Do we wanna
I'd like to
waive?
make a motion with a waiving of the reading.
Second. All right, so we have a first by Vice President Anthony, second by Trustee Shay. Do I have first?
Second.
Oh, sorry, roll call, please. I don't know where my brain was.
Trustee Shay,
Yes.
trustee Murray,
Yes.
trustee Richardson,
Yes.
Vice President Anthony,
Yes.
President Lujan.
Yes, okay. I think my brain's back on track. Item 2B, approval of agreement with Silicon Valley Mathematics Initiative, SVMI, to provide a new math curriculum pilot for the 24-25 school year. Do we have questions or comments on this item? All right, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
First by Trustee Murray, second by Trustee Shay. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, 2C, approval of the Baden High School Comprehensive Support and Improvement CSI Plan for the 24-25 school year. Questions or comments on this?
This is not directly, I mean, it's related to this plan because it's about graduation rates, but I know that in our discussion about math pilot and math curriculum last week, we also talked about graduation rates and graduation requirements. And I just want to say, mea culpa, that I wasn't thinking about Baden when I was thinking about whether or not we should adopt A through G. I didn't. I was thinking about our comprehensive high schools. And I just, as we think about updating our graduation rates, I want to make sure that we are thinking about our students at Baden and what works for them as well. So just putting that on the record.
Thank you, Vice President Anthony. Do we have a motion or no?
I just had a quick comment.
Yeah, go for it.
In relation to Trustee Amanda, I believe that Yes, that has been a concern of mine. And since our group, my group, the Latinx, have been the majority here, and some of the issues related to their graduation probably has to do more with the fact that they won't go to school. I mean, college. So I figured that we are moving in the same direction of offering our students more options. And the option is our trades and another career path. So I'm really thrilled about, and I'm not too worried about the AG requirements. And I think that that's possible. And we do have the STEM program that is excellent and that will inspire all the children that I have seen that, and their parents have come up to me and said, you know, my child really shows an interest in science and wants to be part of it. And we want to be able to offer that as well. But with this specific not problem, but it's a challenge for Baden High School support. I think that, you know, at that age, I think we just need to show them a different path and encourage them of that, because it's just not going to happen sometimes. And I don't want to sound negative or anything, but it is what it is. And we just want to offer our students choices that they can. Si se puede. It's a Spanish saying. So that's my take on it. And I am happy to see that we're moving in that direction, but you know, it is what it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Richardson. All right.
So just related to that, I am really excited about the plan that's in place, and I'm glad we have extra funding to support it. The Baden staff are amazing, and I was really pleased to attend back to school night and watch them interact with their parents and the students, and it's a great place. But just, yeah, didn't mean to open a conversation about all the graduation rates, just really wanted to mea culpa that.
I just want to say thank you to the board for this discussion. We just recently got our district advisory committee. One of the first tasks is this graduation requirements. So I just want to say Dr. Hugh and I already started thinking about how we're going to tackle this, but it's going to be in a thoughtful manner. We're looking at certain classes. We're going to break down some data to share with this community and this committee before we bring a recommendation. So our big goal is exactly what the board just said, being in a learner-centered model and approach, giving the students choice. We have goal setting as one of our graduate aims. We've done a lot of work. We just heard as one of the possible community forum topics, CT and trade. So I just want to say thank you for the thoughtfulness and the comments about the grad requirements, and we'll keep the board updated with our progress. Our first meeting is going to be in November, and I'll give you a scope and sequence very soon about what the meetings are going to entail. We have lots of parents on the committee. So we have over 35 members right now, and over half of them are parents. And what's great about it, there's representation from elementary, middle, high, Title I, non-Title I schools. I'm really happy. Our parents are showing up and they want to be involved in this decision and provide some input and feedback. So thank you.
Do we have a Baden parent?
We do, actually. We have one.
Just keep coughing it out.
I remember. No, please don't.
Yeah.
So-
Do we have a first?
I move that we approve this.
Second.
First by Vice President Anthony, second by Trustee Murray. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 2D, approval of agreement with B Therapy to provide services for speech and language for a speech and language pathologist on a leave of absence. Do we have questions or comments on this item? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All right, I have a first by Trustee Murray, second by Trustee Shea. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 2E, approval of supplemental materials for AP US Government and Politics. Questions or comments? Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, so first by Vice President Anthony, second by Trustee Richardson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Transitioning into human resources. 3A, approval of MOU between SSFUSD and SSFCTA Special Education Specialist sign-on bonus for the 24-25 school year.
So moved.
First by Trustee Murray, second by Trustee Richardson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Yay. Okay. Right into business services. I think it's actually supposed to be 4A. Adoption of resolution 2445 GAN limits. Do we have questions, comments? Do you have a motion?
I have a motion with a waiving of the reading.
Second.
Oh, A was action earlier. Okay, so it is 4B. All right, there we go. Thank you for clarifying that. I'm so sorry. It was first by Vice President Anthony, second by Trustee Shea. I did. Okay, there we go. Roll call, please.
Trustee Shea,
Yes.
trustee Murray,
Yes.
trustee Richardson,
Yes.
Vice President Anthony,
Yes.
President Lujan.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Item 4C, approval of agreement with Best Test Lab Incorporated for utility survey services for Sunshine Garden Elementary Modernization Project under the Measure T bond program. Questions or comments on this item?
So moved.
Second.
First by Trustee Murray, second by Trustee Shea. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 4D, approval of agreement for an extension of a 3-year contract with Key Analytics for cost accounting and tracking program services for the Measure T bond program.
So moved.
First by Trustee Murray, second by Trustee Shea. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And item 4E, adoption of resolution 2449, support of a state ballot proposition 2. Questions or comments on this?
Just so the public knows, this is the state school bond, and we have been asked by the California School Boards Association to have a resolution to support it, and I think we will. This school bond, the state school bond measure allows more projects to be done because it allows for state matching money for our projects.
Instead of unfunded mandates.
Yes, like TK.
All right, do we have a motion on this one? Oh, yeah, by all means, Trustee Richardson, please.
Trustee Lujan, I have a problem with bonds, only because, yes, they achieve the objective, but I would support this only because it says that it allows schools to build new schools, and that's inside the language. So I would love to see new schools in our district. And that's why I would support it when I normally wouldn't support bonds. But it comes back at some point. Everybody pays for this. It's no free, there's no tree in the back like Mr. O has.
Yeah,
There's no
nothing good in life comes for free.
No money
Yeah.
tree.
Thank you for that, Trustee Richardson. Do we have a first on this item?
So moved with the waiving of the reading.
Second.
First by Trustee Murray, second by Trustee Shea. Roll call, please.
Trustee Shea,
Yes.
trustee Murray,
Yes.
trustee Richardson,
Yes.
Vice President Anthony, President Lujan.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. And this brings us to our last action item, 4F, approval of change order number 3 on the HVAC project Package A with EF Brett and Company. Questions or comments on this item?
Good Lord, I'm going to be so glad when this is done and we have no more change orders. That's it. That's the comment.
Okay. Duly noted. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
First by Vice President Anthony, second by Trustee Murray. All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion, or any opposed? Don't want to make assumptions. Motion carries 5-0. Review of future agenda items and meetings. Any changes, additions, comments?
I I'm going to miss the November 14th meeting and possibly also the community forum, but we'll still
Gonna miss my
discuss that.
birthday eve meeting.
I'll bring you presents on the December meeting. December meetings.
Good. All right. Well, thank you for the heads up. A summary of board directives.
There are none.
Beautiful. Okay, team, if we can do it, if we can do good and welfare in 4 minutes, we can adjourn and not need a break. Who would like to begin with good and welfare?
I'm going to take the baton. My main good and welfare is concert in the park, September 21st. We will have a booth, so come by, talk to us, and hear some music from Blessed Union of Souls. Jams. Great tonight. I'm just saying.
I will be there, not for the music, but but thank you. Have a great week, or have a great 2 weeks, everybody. Or have a great week. We'll see you on the 21st, right?
Trustee Richardson?
Yes, I did have a couple of fun things. I went to visit 2 schools, and every year, if you think that it gets boring, it isn't. We had Principal Brioni show us around and explain to us some of the concerns about the porta potties, and I was enlightened, and I'm happy to have gone. And then he showed us, and we had a conversation about the cell phones, because the governor has stated that they are encouraging schools and to have a policy on that, and he showed us the policy. So, you know, he leaves it up to the school, but he also gave us a real nice summary of the school population, and he just was very great, good thing to see in writing in front of you. And then I went to the library and I spoke to the librarian, and she said, and I just got a feeling that we're in transition to the portrait of a graduate, and we're allowing students to have quiet moments in the library. And that was really nice to see, because it just seemed like the culture is changing a little bit. And that was my first impression. Then we went to Sunshine Gardens, and with Principal Gonzalez was very gracious and showed us around to all the great things that are happening at Sunshine Gardens. She hopes to have the like she had last year, the talent contest. And that was great to know, because I look forward to that. And then just yesterday, I was invited to come and say hello to about 15 international new teachers and paraprofessionals descending on our district schools. And it was just exciting to see these enthusiastic educators coming to our school community from Zimbabwe, Jordan, Mexico, Colombia, Philippines, and I can't think of the other ones, but they were so nice, excited to be here in partnership with Jefferson. And there was about 20, and I don't know what they thought about pizza, but they were hungry, I think. And so they took it. I enjoyed it myself. It was Zorba's Pizza. So that's fits in. And Mr. Hanan was so gracious as well. He was really welcoming to the students. And it was just let you know, things don't stay still here in South City. We're always dynamic and moving. And so that's my report.
Thank you so much for your report, Trustee Richardson. And with that, we shall adjourn.